In this segment, I will provide 5 ideas to improve this booth space. And then, as a justification for these recommendations, I will focus in on a specific attendee to show the impact these design elements have on potential target attendees. So let's get started. The booth is designed with a large header structure in the middle of the space, which has created a very defined center gathering safe zone area. In addition, there's a smaller header on the outside of the space, which has been anchored by 3 small turret structures. These structures are being utilized as desks, and there are stools behind them that the staff can perch on. It's difficult to tell what the goal of such a design might be, but let's assume that the exhibitor, like most exhibitors, would like to have face-to-face interactions with target attendees in order to drive them through the conversion process of the purchase experience. With this in mind, here are 5 changes that would help them to succeed in achieving their goals. Number 1, remove the plants on the corners of the booth space. They inhibit attendees from stepping up to the counter areas. Many exhibitors get fearful of empty space, so they fill it with items like this. But the reality is that if items aren't there to express something specific and positive about the soul of your company, then they probably say something negative. In this case, they say that there is a level of discomfort with the company's image, so they want to spruce it up, but they don't have a lot of money to do it. So they got some plants. It also says that they use things as barriers between themselves and their customers. Those things come out as negatives. As a rule of thumb, I tell exhibitors, when in doubt, leave it out. In this case, there are too many plants. The ones on the sides are sufficient. They make a statement about being green and friendly. They also add some texture to the booth, but the corner ones are just barriers. Number 2, tone down the carpet color to something closer to the aisle carpeting color, and fill the gaps left by the decorator. This will reduce the force field effect and make the space more inviting for the attendees. By diminishing the boundary, the booth could also expand to the edges of the space and eliminate the crowded feeling, which simultaneously makes the exhibitor look a little smaller and not like a larger player in the market. This would also allow for more efficient use of the large drive aisles on both sides of the space. Number 3, eliminate the header structures, unless they are using the interior larger header space as a private space for consultation meetings with specifically invited attendees. Header structures like this can make the booth feel like a special VIP guest-only area, which can be very effective for closing sales. But in this case, it only serves as a safe zone for clustering activity by the booth staff members. Removing the headers will make the space feel more open and inviting for passing attendees, and it will also allow people to clearly see highlighted products or services in the interior of the booth space. Number 4, do not allow the staff to cluster together in the center safe zone area of the booth. This is a quick deterrent to entry for potential target attendees. Our research shows that 87% of attendees will not approach a staff person who is already interacting with another person. Keep staff people at least an arm's length away from each other. Number 5, either get rid of the stools to prevent the staff from perching on them, or put a few stools on the other side of the turrets to allow attendees to also sit. This will create more of a consultation type feel, and it will help attendees to feel that they are sitting and having a private consultation with a subject matter expert. So now that I've made these recommendations, let me justify them by focusing in on a specific attendee. I've circled him here in yellow. As the video starts, notice that our attendee passes by the booth and he must step around the plant in order to move into the booth space and up to the turret. Once at the turret, he has a face-to-face interaction with staff members and even shakes hands with one of them. However, the staff members do not invite him into the space. He remains on the perimeter as defined by the header structure, even when the staff person who he is interacting with walks into the center to retrieve something which he ultimately gives to the attendee. Notice that the attendee is not invited in and is not comfortable enough to flow into the space on his own. As the interaction proceeds, the attendee retreats to the aisle side of the force field barrier and stands with one leg positioned forward to the other, which we call a pointing behavior. This arms down pointing behavior is a sign of submission and interest. Coupled with the amount of time this person is spending, these are clear body language indicators that the attendee is very interested in the company offering. These signals should be read by the staff, and they should lead into a hands-on demonstration using qualifying questions and a trial close as part of their process. Unfortunately, this does not happen, and a conversion opportunity is missed as the attendee strolls off on his own.